Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? And yes, welcome to another episode of Project Infinity 1.0. I haven't irritated you in a while. I thought today is also going to be an amazing day for irritation. Anyways, our main goal for today is to try and get something called Infinity 9. And for that we need to get into Crazier AE2 add-ons, and well, it's not a very intuitive mod. So first off, there is a guide, but I don't really understand it. Then there are videos which are silent, so I also don't understand them as well. But I think I do understand a few things. First, we need to do some research. And there are 8 items that we have to use in that research. And therefore, we are going to need 8 research units. I have already set in all the patterns. We already have 1. Let's order 7. And I don't know, a few hundred of the frames. They're cheap, we just throw them away later on. And I do have to place down 8 multi-blocks, which are going to be a 5x5 like so. The frame has to be made out of research unit frame. The walls have to be vibrant quartz glass. And you know, it's assembled like a big reactor. Just imagine a 5x5. Also, the funny part is that I can be totally wrong. But obviously, we are going to figure this out together. So, it's a 5x5x5, surrounded with vibrant quartz glass. And the most important thing which goes inside is computational units, also known as crafting storage units from Applied Energistics. Depending on the recipe that you have to process, in our case is going to be Infinity 9, it has to be 27 to 156 Ks. Obviously, for each multi-block. Exactly like so, we fill in the entire structure, and then one skystone tank goes on top. That's the multi-block. I have to rinse and repeat this process 7 more times. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, we do have 8 research units, and we're going to connect them using a pipe. You know, there's a tank up here. Again, not sure if any of these things are important or not, that's what I understood. Not the pipe part, it could be way more neat. But unfortunately, as amazing as this mod looks like, this is a one-time use thing. So why did we need pipes? Because these machines require a coolant. And where do we make the coolant? Inside something called a fabricator. It does seem that the fabricator has to be hooked up to your Applied Energistics system, and it does not accept direct power, so we shall have an energy acceptor and a flux plug. So yeah, that thing is online. I have a fluid tank with water, which is perfect. Oh, it's even with the amulet inside. So we can just put it on top and export the water. The amulet fell off, don't you worry. So inside we have water, we need redstone and lapis. That's going to give us something called research fluid. That's like the coolant. I don't know, the guide calls it a coolant. Since we do have to make it constantly, we might as well use an EMC link with some pipes. And hopefully it's not going to be messed up. Oh, is it one of those things? Wait, yeah, I think if you put something extra in it, then it's going to stop. Yeah, and then since it's a bit buggy, you have to actually break it. It's okay, I don't really think we need that much. Or maybe we can just have a buffer. Then what we're going to need is that we're going to need 8 research pedestals. And the reason that they're configured like this is that I just tried to copy the infusion altar, because we need to hook up every single pedestal to a research unit without the wires connecting. But that's not the whole part, that's the bottom part, this is the top part. And in the center, we're going to have this, the research station. So let's see if we can actually do the wiring. You can connect to that one, like so. You can connect to that one, like so. Yeah, we seem to be fine. It has to connect to the controller. And if we click on it, it should say, yeah, connected, computation 432. That is very important, and that's the reason that we use those crafting components. Yeah, I think every connection is independent. So everybody should be valid. Yes, yes, no. That's because I missed one. But yes. Yeah, it seems to be working perfectly fine. Another very important thing is that I do have a feeling all of them should connect to an Applied Energistics system. Doesn't have to be our main network, it can be a sub-network. It's a very temporary setup, don't you worry. We're going to remove every single cable later on. But yeah, that is our connection. I also do have a few dense energy cells that we removed from our system, so let's place them here, because I do think that it requires power. How much? I'm not sure. Doesn't really tell you about the power. It's okay. Now we need to connect our research station, the one in the center, to an Applied Energistics connection, and also I think it does require power. So device online, and it does have power. Also, apparently according to the guide, these research pedestal tops have to be 1 block above the research station. So you can't put it 1 block lower, is the thing. But now this is the moment that we are going to see if I was right. So there is a data drive. You know, this is the recipe. I think that goes inside the research station. That is true. Now we need to get the ingredients. and I am going to make a backup, just in case. So let us see what we need for Infinity 9. That should be easy. Okay, we have enough. That should be easy as well. 64 blocks of Terra Steel. This is expensive. That is unobtainium vibranium. Okay, so this one. Cool. 1 stack of Flux blocks and 2 stacks of dense energy cells. Is that it? Oh yeah, super singularity, yes. So about that, at first I thought we're screwed. And believe me, if you see the recipe, you will also think that we're screwed. So this is a super singularity. You need 8,192 singularities in order to make one. And guess what? We need 1 stack. Thankfully, singularities have EMC. And unfortunately, I forgot to remove it from our energy condensers, and we have 4.8 million of it. However, for it to start working, we need 1 stack of 256k storage components. And yeah, it started working. Wait a minute, that's just gonna give me like 1. I need 1 stack. Speed is not amazing. It's okay. We can have more connections. Yeah, we just got the 1. Okay, that's fast enough. I can wait for that. But I think the rest of the items can go inside the pedestals. It doesn't really matter which one we put where, right? Yeah, we're just missing the singularity. So the way it works is that you look at the recipe of the Infinity 9. Those are the ingredients that you need. They have to surround the research station. They can't be more than 3 blocks away. The top pedestal has to be 1 block above the research pedestal. Connections have to be independent. And most importantly, you need some computational power, which in our case is 432. And the reason that I had to go with 256Ks is that there is a number here. Each 256K gives you 16 processing power, and that brings you up to 27 of them in each and every unit. Okay, I have my singularities. Let's make more fluid, and let's hope this works. Power is dropping. Why? Well, we are progressing. Power is gone. So it stopped, therefore we gained power. Why did we lose power? It's 500 RF per tick. And now it's not working. We replace it. Power is good. We try again. Ooh, the fluid is gone. Oops. Okay, let me try to fix it. How am I supposed to fix it for like 600 seconds? That's 5 minutes. No. It's 10 minutes. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, it has been a while later and I have finally figured out what was wrong. So power is an issue, but it's not the flux points. It's the applied energy stick system, and in our case, it's a subnetwork. So yeah, energy cells are going to help, but you're going to need a way bigger controller. The next important thing is that we ran out of fluid. You know, research fluid. And also, if you guys remember, I had problems with the recipe Fabricator that it used to stall, and the problem was also again power. It doesn't really give you enough information what is wrong, but I don't know, I just installed an energy cell, and this guy has been running for a very long time. We have 9,000 buckets, and we are going to go way more. However, in the meantime, since I was bored, I thought, let's make more power flowers. How many more? I think I'm going to go with 10. I have not much else to do. I just want bigger numbers everywhere. And also EMC in this mod pack is not that useful, because we already got our singularities. We don't need to craft them ever again. So, can I have 10? Yeah, also another thing that I have been wondering is that when are you going to be 0.0001% full? I think that guy has been running for a few weeks, right? Maybe at least a week? Another very important thing is that in order to make Infinity 9, we're going to need tons of saffron dragonstone. Yeah, that's a ton. Let's order 1,000 blocks. Because we don't want to craft everything from scratch, it's half a stack of blocks. Actually, my 10 power flowers are ready, but I just realized something. There is something called Compact Sun. Oh my goodness, this is expensive. Basically what it does is that when put above or below certain blocks, multiplies their output by 10. What certain blocks? Well, in order to test that, what we're going to need is a transmutation interface, and that requires Infinity 9. So for the moment, we can use some EMC. That's a good number. So while I'm waiting for more fluid, I think this is enough, but I just want to get more just in case. I have been trying to fix our blood altar. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so this time I'm using XNet. I do have a pattern provider on top of a barrel. We're extracting Infinity 3 from the barrel. We're inserting it into the blood altar, which is the entangled block, but the number is set on 1, so there's only 1 ingot inside the altar at any given time. Once it is converted, we extract it and put it back inside the pattern provider. Now if I want, I don't know, like 20 Infinity 4, it should be way faster and hopefully more consistent. That one I like. However, another problem that you might notice is that we're running low on blood. I have already made 2 virtual sacrificers, 2 extra ones, but we don't have data models. I think 2 should be more than enough, right? Let's get a few withers. That should be a total of 5. And that should be a basic data model. Perfect. I need to upgrade it. I wish there was a faster way of upgrading everything. I have installed the additional data models and yeah, we're not losing blood anymore. That's perfect and it's way faster. So let's get back to Crazier AE. I have done some calculations and it does seem we need 10,000 buckets of fluid. We do have 12.6. I'm actually going to make a backup because I don't want to wait another 2 hours. It's been actually way more. And also that amount of fluid must be pumped out, so let's have an extra connection. And also let's get some good pipe upgrades. It doesn't tell you how much the rate is. 10,000 bucket every tick. That's fine, we actually need like 1 bucket every tick. You know, for around 600 seconds, so that's a lot. But the backup is done, perfect. You go in, and we start. So far the fluid is fine. And yeah, we're consuming it at an insane rate. In every single unit. Oh, finally, we can see the progress bar. It's like 7% done. And I don't think we have lost 7% of our fluid. We should be fine this time. 16%. We're doing fine. Okay, so after a few minutes I was done and I got this. A data drive, which doesn't look much different from the other ones. But thankfully, it seems that there is one tag. I have also made another data drive. This one does not have a tag. So this should be the correct one. So I already got the Infinity 9, but apparently what we need to do is to make this guy. Entropy Cradle. It's a multi-block and it's a very cheap multi-block. You know, I made it using the tool. Then what we need to do is that we need to provide it with power, and whenever these capacitors are full of power, you get a comparator signal. Probably that's how you would automate it, but you have to make a multi-block within the multi-block. I do have the resources here. And there is a block of Infinity 8 somewhere inside that block. If we press the button, voila, Infinity 9. So this is Infinity 9 in block form and you cannot really convert it into an ingot. That's where our data drive and the recipe fabricator comes in. You know, this is the drive that we made and has NBT 1 tag. You put it in and Infinity 9. So this is something that we have to automate, and I think you can automate this using Crazier AE2, but we will see. For the moment, let's just get a bunch. Oh, we're out of power. Ah, it does charge up. Ooh. Actually, I was going to nag that why doesn't it charge up, but it's actually quite nice. We're out of power. Okay, it's fully charged up. Comparator is on. We press the button. And that should be more Infinity 9s. I only made one on my own. And thankfully Infinity 9 and 8 are a 1-to-1 ratio. But that means now we should be able to have a pattern for Infinity 10. Wait, this is the advanced multi-block, we need to change the recipe. Yeah, that's the recipe. So wait a minute, in order to make the ultimate Infinity Seed, I need 2 creative control circuits. That does require 8 creative alloy, and that's 8 Infinity 10s. On a very positive note, you don't have to do it again, but expensive. But nonetheless, we do have to automate the process. At first I wanted to go with RF Tools Builder, but maybe we go with Crazier AE2. I had to do 2 more research in order to make something called Auto Builder. One of them was the ejector, you know, super easy. And then you have to use the ejector in order to research the Auto Builder. And well, this is the Auto Builder. So we are going to go through this one more time together, but basically, if I put a block of Infinity 8 inside this chest and press the button, it will make the multi-block for me. I think you can also accelerate the process. But yeah, that's the block. Is it complete? Not really. But that part has to be automated, and also this part. The problem with automation, I have moved everything. I set them up over here temporarily, but yeah, that's Infinity 9. The problem with automating everything is the amount of power that the Cradle requires. It's 600 million RF. Not RF, applied energy 6 power. I was under the impression that a super dense energy cell from mega cells is going to be amazing, but that's only 25 million RF. I'll give you that, it's not much. But Crazier AE does have a solution. Energy storage 256 million. And it can hold 2 trillion AE power. That's a lot of power. The problem is making it. Since it is a bit of a pain to craft, here's what I have done. I have a wireless connector which is hooked up to our applied energy 6 system. I have a pattern provider with a recipe for energy storage 256k. And I need 27 of them, which is a lot. So if I order 1, every ingredient should go inside the chest, right? Lovely. Now, I do need to make it once. And I do need to remember how to make it, which is way easier said than done. I think that should be the multi-block, I'm not sure. I'm going to need a builder pattern. As usual, we select one corner. I have missed the second corner, but there you go. Then we save it by right-clicking in mid-air, and we just put it inside the auto builder. So obviously it does show you a preview which we have to adjust. but let's see if it works. Yes, some of them have power. Why are you charging the things? Do they have to be charged? Well, we are going to try this one more time. Otherwise, I'll just go with dense energy cells. No, it messes things up. It's fine. Generally speaking, I'm not a fan of wasting time. Yeah, super dense energy cells have EMC, and we have a ton of them. We can hold 6 billion RF in our system, which is half of that in AE2 power. So that's good. Let's bring this guy down, to a more permanent location. Especially the controller. We kind of need that. And I don't mind it being elevated by 1 block. So you go there. Lovely. Now, can we power it from here? We can. And it's full. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have brought the machine downstairs. It's connected to our applied energetic system, and we have a huge power reserve. Now, a few things have to happen at the same time, and I'm a bit confused as how they should happen. Let us get one Infinity 8 block. We make the Infinity 9 structure inside the Cradle one more time, and we get a new builder pattern. The problem with the patterns from this mod is that everything says tags. It doesn't tell you what it does. But as usual, we select one corner, the second corner, we save it, and yeah, the pattern seems to be correct, so it goes inside the auto builder, right? Now, we also need to set a pattern for the actual block, and we're also missing a few patterns for the ingredients, so there you go. I think we need to connect the builder to our applied energetic system and also the barrel. Something like this, right? The pattern goes inside the pattern provider, blocking mode enabled, and if I order a block of Infinity 9, everything should go inside the barrel. Once it's ready. Apparently it's not. Yeah, now it should be in. Perfect. Let's actually remove this one. Now let us try to adjust everything. So it does have a pattern for the Infinity 9 block structure, and I have to center it inside the Cradle, which is such a painful thing to do. Okay, and then 2 blocks up. That seems to be correct. Actually, wait a minute. I think it's just better to run this on a subnetwork. Not that it's better, we should. Actually, maybe not, because one of the things that I did, which was wrong, is that, well, I put the barrel on top, there is a pattern provider, right? So now if we want to craft the actual structure, we're missing blocks because it's inside the barrel. But let's bring it down here. Again, we are going to have the pattern provider, we're going to have the pattern, we're going to have a storage bus set on extract only, and it's also partitioned. So now if I press the button from the top, oh, it is making it. It stopped. I pressed too many buttons. Yeah, let's press the button. Okay, now it's making it. And kind of an important thing was that I wanted to know which one is going to be the last block. So let's order another one. This time I also put acceleration cards inside, so it should build it faster. Now I don't know which one was the last block. Yeah, I think this one is going to be the last block. Yes, that is true. Because if we know which one is going to be the last block, we can detect it and give some redstone signal to the Cradle so that it would make the item that we want. So I have a redstone transmitter, a redstone receiver. Let's put a redstone here. We shall make the structure, and it's gone. Lovely. That was lovely, I think. So apart from this button, everything else is automatic. And also, I don't like redstone like this. Oh, and by the way, one of the things that you might notice is that I have changed the barrel to netherite, and there are some items left here. That's because the pattern provider puts everything here. However, whenever we're building something, we're also taking things from our drive. That's something that we can fix easily, but we will do that later on. I just wanted to let you know that I'm aware of that. Anyways, now what we need to do is to automate the breaking of Infinity 9 block once it's ready. There is a block breaker from Actually Additions. I'm not exactly sure if it will do the job. Well, it actually should be the Phantom breaker or long range breaker. If it doesn't, we have to use a builder, I think. I don't think they accept filters. Nope. There's also one from Cyclic. That one does take a filter, and you can adjust the height. Okay, that's good. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, we do have a winner. The miner from Cyclic. It does require a pickaxe though, and I think eventually I'll just put an Aldemodium pickaxe inside so that it would be unbreakable. And yes, this one accepts a filter, but it's called Block State Data Card, and it doesn't have a GUI. You have to right click on the block that you want. So this is its range, working area. It will not collect the item, it will just drop it on the ground, and it will drop it where it mines it, so literally here. Therefore, underneath I do have an item collector with a dimensional chest. Here. Also, you should remember to allow fake players in your claim chunks. I learned that at the cost of 1 Infinity 9 block. It's just 1 ingot, but it's expensive. Anyways, we have 5 Infinity 9 blocks. Let's order 6 ingots. All the ingredients are in, we press the button, and it's harvested. And It's converted. The only thing that we have to automate is this button, which I think you can just have a hovering hourglass, right? Because in any case, it's not going to place down anything, right? Yeah, when it's missing something, it's not going to place it. Probably. Let's order one more. And this time, I'm not gonna touch anything. That worked. And it's harvested. So all of that means we have 16 Infinity 9s. I don't know how Infinity 10 looks like. Oh, it's this one. So can I have 4? Yes. It was ready. Cool. So if nothing has gone wrong, I can have a pattern for Creative Alloy. Again, it's one of those patterns that we do have to configure. Let's check one of the alloy smelters. Down, east, east. Yeah, down, east, east. That makes sense. So Creative Alloy? Just the one? These are crazy expensive. I'm just saying. But yeah, we have the one. So Creative Alloy should give us the Creative Circuit. And let's see if I can have the one. I need 2. I know that. But again, perfect. Creative Circuit. That goes here. So make another one from scratch. Then we will know if everything is working. Saffron Dragonstone is expensive. That one is expensive. Everything is expensive. Also, these two stupid things are made inside the same machine. Let's actually go and watch the machine. See if it functions. Yeah, it does function. I don't know if you're harvesting it fast enough or not. Seems you are. Yeah, you were. It's just too fast. So even though this control circuit is incredibly expensive, we don't technically have to make it ever again. Because remember, Infinity Seed gives us the Infinity Essence, and that gives us the Creative Control Circuit. Although we're still going to need hundreds of Infinity 9 in order to make Infinity 12, and I'm not sure how many hundreds. So yeah, it's still going to be very expensive. Unless there is a super cheaty way, which let's try that. Let's get some Infinity 10. 10 of them. I ran out of gold, I had to EMC some. Oh, you're crafting everything. Oops. I do have them on the request terminal. That's the problem. That's gonna take a few hours. Talking about that few hours, I need to do something about our greenhouse. I don't pump in nether stars automatically. So, let's entangle the greenhouse. And let's try to hide everything. So we shall have an EMC link for nether stars, a pipe, the entangled block, and the greenhouse. So will you fill it in? Please. Yeah, we're getting nether stars. It's a garbage rate, which can easily be fixed with a garbage pipe upgrade. That is true, I don't really have to worry about it ever again, and we have tons of EMC to waste. Even if it goes to waste. So while that is cooking up, let's go to our agriculture area. And if you guys remember last episode, I think we installed 15 Inferium seeds on hydroponic beds with the hydroponic simulation processor. Now it's at 2.52 after 600,000 iterations. Okay. The gist of it is that I'm out of Inferium. I'm actually not producing enough in order to make infinity ingots, so let's remove all of them like so, and then we shall vein mine. And then I have ordered 15 simulated hydroponic beds, which we're going to replace. Oops. I sneak and right clicked on the wall. So at best case scenario, what is going to be your speed? 16. It's better than nothing. So everybody has been fully upgraded, they have their simulation processor, and now I think it is time to surge them. How fast is it working? That's not bad. Can we double surge them? That is way better. So we just need to be able to import it faster into our system. Oh, now there's another problem. It's okay, we can upgrade. Oh, that's a very big problem. Yeah, now the system is clogged up. In the crafter, what we're going to do is that we're going to add more patterns for Inferium blocks. That should make it faster. Another crazy pipe upgrade. We're still doing fine, but not fine enough. I did manage to fix the backlog, everything seems to be running smoothly, and I set up a timer. I got exactly 10 Insanium blocks in 61 seconds. You know, human reflexes, they're not the best. So I would say we're getting an Insanium block every 6 seconds. I'm not sure if that's fast enough. But you can see the speed yourself, it's not that bad. But I'm not sure. If we don't have enough Inferium by next episode, that would be our top priority. Also, can somebody explain to me what is the point of having RF Tools Dimension if you cannot dupe anything? Seriously, just out of extreme curiosity, do you even accept something like a diamond? Okay, totally useless, but I guess it works. You know, I even tried it with Insanium, it doesn't really work. RF Tools Dimension probably is just useless. Anyways. Our Divinium is gone, but at least my Infinity 10s are ready, and let's try something. So from Infinity 10 to 11, what we need to do is that we need to sieve it. Best ratio that we can have on paper is actually from an auto sieve tier 4. Almost a stack of Infinity 10 gives you 25 Infinity 11. But we do have sieves with Fortune 8, and this could be a huge waste. We got 2. We got 2 again. And 1 and 3. Holy. Okay. Cheating works. So I did put 12 inside. We got 12 out. 13. Oh my goodness. Is that all? Yeah, 13. We actually got more than what we put in. Okay, as long as we can cheat, I don't care. You know, once I mentioned that these machines are going to be way more efficient if we use Fortune, and a lot of you guys disagreed with me. I'm sorry, joke's on you. At least all the costs in the future are going to be reduced. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.